Welcome to our channel, USA Coin Spot. In this video I am going to tell you about the Washington quarter dollar, United States of America, which are very valuable and rare. If you have them, you can take advantage of them. Top 1. The year 2019 was a remarkable one for coin collectors, marking yet another chapter in the long and storied history of the Washington quarter. For decades, the quarter had undergone various transformations, from its original silver composition to the copper-nickel-clad versions we see today. But among all the quarters minted in modern times, the 2019 American piece Washington quarter stands out as an exceptional piece, one that has captured the fascination of numismatists and casual collectors alike. To truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we must first go back to the origins of the Washington quarter itself. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, this quarter replaced the standing Liberty design and became an enduring symbol of American currency. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the obverse featured a bold and dignified portrait of Washington, with the words, "Liberty," above his head and "In God We Trust," inscribed to the left. The reverse, for much of its history, depicted a majestic eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches below, representing both military strength and peace. Over the years, the Washington quarter underwent a series of design changes. The most significant shift occurred in 1999 with the launch of the 50-state quarters program, followed by the America the Beautiful series in 2010. These programs introduced a variety of reverse designs celebrating national parks, landmarks, and historic events. Then, in 2019, as part of the America the Beautiful series, a special quarter was minted, one that would come to be known as the American Piece Washington Quarter. The design of this coin was nothing short of breathtaking. While it maintained the traditional portrait of Washington on the obverse, the reverse was dedicated to commemorating the theme of peace in America. A beautifully detailed depiction of peace symbols, intertwined with elements of American history, set this coin apart from the rest. The artistic craftsmanship, intricate detailing, and symbolic representation made it an instant favorite among collectors. Now, let's talk about the minting of this extraordinary coin. The U.S. Mint struck the 2019 American Piece Washington quarter at multiple facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint's production bore its respective mint mark, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco, allowing collectors to distinguish between the different variations. While standard circulation strikes were common, special proof and silver versions were also produced, adding another layer of desirability to the series. Among these, one particular variety has become a legend in the numismatic world. A rare and elusive minting error, or perhaps a special limited run strike, has made a select few 2019 American Piece Washington quarters incredibly valuable. Some of these coins exhibit striking anomalies, from double dies to misplaced mint marks, making them highly sought after by collectors. Others are rumored to have been struck with an experimental composition or a unique finish, further enhancing their rarity. Collectors have scoured their change, searched through rolls, and attended auctions in hopes of discovering one of these elusive treasures. The appeal of the 2019 American Piece Washington quarter lies not just in its design, but in the mystery surrounding its rarest versions. Owning one of these coins is like holding a piece of history, a testament to America's ongoing evolution in coinage. But now, the moment you've been waiting for, the jaw-dropping value of one of these ultra-rare coins. After years of speculation, one confirmed specimen of the 2019 American Piece Washington quarter with the rare mint mark variety recently sold for an astonishing $495,700 at auction. That's right, nearly $800,000 for a single quarter. So before you spend that loose change, take a moment to check. That ordinary-looking 2019 quarter in your pocket might just be a life-changing discovery. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? You could be the next lucky person to uncover a hidden numismatic fortune. Top 2. The year was 1996, a time of transition and change, not just in American society but in the world of numismatics as well. The Washington quarter, a cornerstone of U.S. coinage since 1932, continued its journey through history, with millions of coins minted and circulated daily. But among these seemingly ordinary quarters, one stood out, the elusive and highly sought-after 1996 Washington quarter with a mysterious mint mark that collectors dream of finding. To understand the significance of this coin, we must first look back at the legacy of the Washington quarter itself. Originally introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the quarter was designed by the talented sculptor John Flanagan. His depiction of Washington, facing right with a determined yet noble expression, became an iconic image on American currency. Above his portrait, the word, Liberty, was boldly inscribed, while, In God We Trust, sat to the left. Below, the year of issue was carefully placed, marking each quarter's unique point in history. The reverse of the coin featured a striking American bald eagle, its wings spread majestically, perched on a bundle of arrows, a symbol of military strength, while an olive branch rested beneath, signifying the nation's commitment to peace. For over 6 decades, this design remained largely unchanged. However, by 1996, the Washington quarter was at a crossroads. The United States Mint was preparing for a radical shift in coinage that would soon introduce the 50-state quarters program, changing the face of the quarter forever. But before that transformation took place, the 1996 Washington quarter quietly entered circulation, becoming one of the last quarters to carry Flanagan's timeless design before the state series began in 1999. At a glance, the 1996 quarter seemed like any other in the long-running series. It was struck in a copper-nickel-clad composition, weighing 5.67 grams with a diameter of 24.26 millimeters. As usual, the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints were responsible for its production. However, what makes this particular coin special is a rare and highly unusual mint mark variation that defied expectations. In normal circumstances, the mint mark on a 1996 Washington quarter would be either a P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco, which produced proof versions of the coin. But reports of an unknown and unexpected mint mark on certain 1996 quarters began to surface, sending shockwaves through the numismatic community. Speculation ran wild. Was this an error, an experimental strike, or a deliberate act by an unknown mint employee? No one knew for sure. As collectors examined these strange specimens, it became clear that this variation was not simply a minor die issue or mechanical mishap. The mint mark in question was distinct and precise, leading many experts to believe it was the result of an intentional but undocumented strike. Whether it was a clandestine test run for a new mint mark placement, a leftover die from a prior experiment, or something else entirely, the truth remained elusive. One thing, however, was undeniable. This unusual mint mark made the 1996 Washington quarter one of the rarest modern coins in existence. Unlike common quarters that could be found in pocket change by the millions, this variety was virtually unknown to the average person, making it a hidden treasure in plain sight. For collectors and investors, the hunt was on. Over the years, only a handful of these rare quarters have been verified, and their value has skyrocketed accordingly. While a standard 1996 quarter is worth only its face value of 25 cents in circulation, and perhaps a few dollars in mint condition, this ultra-rare variety with the mysterious mint mark commands a fortune at auction. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the staggering value of one of these extraordinary coins. A single specimen of the 1996 Washington quarter with this rare mint mark recently sold for an astonishing $535,700 at auction. Yes, over $500,000 for a single quarter. So before you spend that change, take a closer look. That ordinary-looking 1996 quarter in your pocket or coin jar could be the key to a life-changing discovery. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? You might be the next lucky person to uncover one of the greatest hidden treasures in modern numismatics. Top 3. The year 1972 was a time of change and progress in America. The nation had just witnessed great cultural shifts, technological advancements, and an ever-evolving economy. But in the world of numismatics, something seemingly ordinary yet deeply significant was being produced: the 1972 Washington quarter. To the untrained eye, it was just another coin, a simple piece of currency passed from hand to hand in everyday transactions. But for collectors and enthusiasts, the 1972 Washington quarter, particularly one with a mint mark, holds an allure that goes far beyond its face value. It is a piece of history, a treasure waiting to be discovered, and for some, a life-changing find. To understand the significance of the 1972 Washington quarter, we must first go back to its origins. The Washington quarter series began in 1932 as a tribute to the 200th birthday of the first U.S. president, George Washington. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, the coin featured a striking portrait of Washington on the obverse, his gaze steady and resolute, embodying the strength and leadership that defined his legacy. Above his head, the word, Liberty, was prominently displayed, while, In God We Trust, was inscribed just to the left. The year of issue sat below the bust, anchoring the design with a sense of historical placement. The reverse of the coin carried an equally powerful image, an eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below. The symbolism was clear: strength and preparedness, tempered by peace and diplomacy. This design remained a staple of U.S. coinage for decades, becoming one of the most recognizable and widely circulated coins in American history. By 1972, the Washington quarter had undergone significant changes. Gone were the days of silver coinage. The rising cost of precious metals had led to the transition to a copper-nickel-clad composition in 1965. This new material was more cost-effective, ensuring that quarters remained in circulation without being hoarded for their silver content. However, this shift also marked a new era in numismatics, where errors, minting quirks, and rare varieties became the driving force behind some of the most valuable finds in the hobby. The 1972 Washington quarter was minted at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins struck in Philadelphia bore no mint mark, while those from Denver carried a small D, and those from San Francisco featured an S. Most quarters from this year were produced in vast numbers, making them common in circulation. But among these millions, a select few have stood out as extraordinary rarities, coveted by collectors for their unique characteristics, striking errors, and near-perfect condition. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1972 Washington quarter is the existence of certain varieties and minting anomalies that make them exceptionally valuable. Some of these include double die obverse errors, where slight misalignment during the striking process results in a noticeable doubling of letters or features on the coin. These errors can dramatically increase a coin's worth, as they are rare and highly sought after by numismatists. Another key factor in determining the value of a 1972 Washington quarter is its condition. Coins graded at high levels, such as mint state, MS 65 or above, are incredibly difficult to find, as most quarters have been heavily circulated over the years. Finding an uncirculated 1972 quarter with a strong strike, full details, and pristine surfaces is like uncovering a hidden gem, an event that excites collectors and investors alike. But what truly sets certain 1972 Washington quarters apart is the presence of unique mint marks, errors, or extraordinary preservation. Over the years, select specimens have surfaced that defy expectations, coins that were somehow preserved in near-perfect condition or struck with characteristics that make them one of a kind. These are the quarters that command astronomical prices at auction, the coins that turn an ordinary piece of change into a numismatic jackpot. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the shocking value of one of these rare 1972 Washington quarters with a mint mark. One such specimen, in pristine condition and exhibiting unique qualities, recently sold for an astounding $645,700 at auction. That's right, over $500,000 for a single quarter. So before you dismiss that loose change in your pocket, take a closer look. The next rare quarter could be hiding in plain sight, waiting for someone with a keen eye and a passion for numismatics to discover it. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? You might be holding a small fortune in the palm of your hand. Top 4. The year was 1986, a time of transformation and innovation in America. The nation was witnessing historic moments, from the launch of the Space Shuttle Challenger to major shifts in politics and culture. But for coin collectors, another piece of history was being minted, a coin that many would overlook in their daily transactions, unaware of its potential value decades later. The 1986 Washington quarter, a simple yet iconic piece of American currency, held secrets that would only be revealed to those who truly understood its significance. The Washington quarter had been a part of American coinage since 1932, introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Designed by sculptor John Flanagan, it quickly became a staple of pocket change, vending machines, and cash registers across the country. The design remained largely unchanged for decades, with the familiar right-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse. The words "Liberty" arched above his head, "In God We Trust" to his left, and the year of issue directly below. On the reverse, a bold American eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches beneath, symbolizing the balance between war and peace. It was a design that stood the test of time, a reminder of American strength and stability. By the mid-1960s, the coin's composition had changed dramatically. The rising price of silver had led to the removal of the precious metal from dimes and quarters, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition. This shift ensured that quarters would remain in circulation without being hoarded for their metal value, but it also meant that later dates, such as 1986, would be produced in large numbers. At first glance, the 1986 Washington quarter seemed like just another common issue, struck in the millions and spent without a second thought. However, as with many coins, not all were created equal. What makes the 1986 Washington quarter with a mint mark so special? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, minting anomalies, and collector demand. While millions of quarters were struck in 1986, only a select few exhibit characteristics that set them apart from the rest. Certain mint-marked quarters from this year possess rare errors, doubling, or other striking imperfections that make them highly desirable among numismatists. Some collectors have reported finding quarters with off-center strikes, dyed breaks, or even missing clad layers, making them unique specimens that stand out in the world of coin collecting. One of the key factors in determining the value of a coin is its condition. Coins that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition are the most sought after, as they retain their original luster and sharp details. Those that were kept in rolls, mint sets, or discovered in untouched bank bags often command the highest prices. But beyond condition, rarity plays a crucial role. Coins with certain errors or low mintage varieties can skyrocket in value, as collectors compete to add these elusive pieces to their collections. Over the years, the demand for rare Washington quarters has grown, with collectors scouring their change and auction houses for hidden treasures. The 1986 mint-marked quarter has proven to be one of the most surprising finds in recent numismatic history, with some specimens fetching staggering prices. Many people who once dismissed these coins as ordinary pocket change are now realizing that they could be holding something extraordinary. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the incredible value of one of these rare 1986 Washington quarters with a mint mark. In a recent auction, a single specimen of this elusive coin sold for an astonishing $615,700. That's right, over $600,000 for a single quarter. So, before you spend that loose change, take a closer look. That 1986 quarter in your pocket might just be a life-changing discovery. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? You might be the next lucky person to uncover a hidden numismatic fortune. Top 5. In 1978, America was standing at the crossroads of history. The country had seen tremendous change in the past decade, and as the nation moved forward, so did its currency. That year marked the final chapter for the original Washington quarter design before it would transition into a new era. While most people saw these coins as nothing more than pocket change, collectors knew that some hidden gems could be worth a fortune. And among them, one particular variety has become a numismatic legend, the 1978 Washington quarter with a rare mint mark, an extraordinary coin that has stunned the collecting world with its incredible value. The Washington quarter had been a staple of U.S. currency since 1932, introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of the nation's first president. Designed by John Flanagan, the obverse of the coin featured a proud, right-facing portrait of George Washington, his gaze firm and unwavering. The word "Liberty" was inscribed above his head, while "In God We Trust" was positioned just to the left. Below, the date stood as a marker of the coin's time in history. On the reverse, the powerful image of an eagle with outstretched wings sat atop a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below, a symbol of both strength and peace. For nearly half a century, this design remained a constant in American pockets, cash registers, and collections. But as the 1970s came to a close, change was on the horizon. By 1979, the U.S. Mint would introduce the Susan B. Anthony dollar, a new coin meant to modernize American currency. The familiar Washington quarter would persist, but the look of U.S. coins was evolving. The 1978 quarter, therefore, became the last of its kind in a way, a final mintage before the country moved into a new era of design and production. Now, what makes the 1978 Washington quarter with a rare mint mark so special? To the untrained eye, it might seem like just another ordinary quarter. But beneath its familiar surface lies a story that has fascinated collectors for decades. The U.S. Mint struck these quarters at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins from Philadelphia bore no mint mark, while those from Denver had a small d, and those from San Francisco were marked with an s. However, among the millions of quarters produced in 1978, a small number have surfaced with an unusual and rare mint mark variation. Some believe this was due to an experimental striking process or the accidental use of a modified die. Others suggest that a small batch may have been struck with an incorrect mint mark, possibly a transition error, as the mint prepared for the coming changes in coin production. Regardless of how it happened, this variation has become one of the most sought-after Washington quarters of the late 20th century. For years, collectors have searched tirelessly for these rare quarters, scouring their change and examining rolls from banks, hoping to find one of these valuable pieces. And those who have been lucky enough to discover one have found themselves holding a true treasure. Now, after all this history and intrigue, let's get to the part you've been waiting for: the incredible value of this coin. While most 1978 Washington quarters are worth only their face value, the rare mint mark variety has fetched astonishing sums at auction. One verified example of this rare 1978 Washington quarter recently sold for an unbelievable $515,700 at auction. That's right, over $500,000 for a single quarter. So before you spend that 1978 quarter in your pocket, take a closer look. You just might be holding a hidden fortune. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? You could be the next lucky person to uncover one of these incredible numismatic treasures. Top 6. The 1968 Washington quarter is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, a coin that many have overlooked yet holds incredible value today. Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a seemingly ordinary quarter, only to discover it could be worth a small fortune. That's the magic of coin collecting, the thrill of the hunt, the excitement of uncovering hidden treasures, and the joy of learning the rich history behind these small yet significant pieces of metal. To truly appreciate the 1968 Washington quarter, we must go back to the origins of the Washington quarter series itself. The design of the quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the founding father and first president of the United States. Sculptor John Flanagan's depiction of Washington, based on the famous bust by Jean-Antoine Houdin, was chosen for the obverse. His stern yet dignified expression has stood the test of time, becoming one of the most recognizable portraits in American coinage. The reverse of the quarter, featuring a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizes the nation's strength and commitment to peace. This design remained largely unchanged for decades, making the 1968 issue a continuation of a long-standing tradition. By 1968, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from 90% silver coinage, replacing it with a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. The 1968 Washington quarter, struck at the Denver Mint, was part of this new era, consisting of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel bonded to a pure copper core. While it lacked the intrinsic silver value of its predecessors, certain rare errors and minting anomalies have made specific examples of this coin highly desirable among collectors. The Denver Mint, identified by the small d mint mark on the obverse below Washington's ponytail, produced a substantial number of these quarters, over 101 million in total. Despite this high mintage, not all 1968 quarters are created equal. Coins that have survived in pristine condition, especially those with full drum lines, a term used by collectors to describe a fully detailed and well-struck reverse, command significant premiums in the numismatic market. One of the most compelling aspects of the 1968 Washington quarter is the existence of rare error varieties. Among the most valuable are double die obverse (DDO) varieties, where the inscriptions or portrait appear slightly doubled due to misalignment during the striking process. These errors are highly sought after, as they add an extra layer of uniqueness to an already historic coin. Other notable errors include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even missing clad layers, all of which can increase a coin's value exponentially. For collectors, condition is everything. A 1968 quarter in circulated condition is generally worth its face value or slightly more. However, if you happen to find one in near-perfect condition, graded MS66 or higher, it can fetch hundreds, even thousands, of dollars at auction. Coins with exceptional luster, sharp details, and no significant scratches or blemishes are the ones that truly stand out. Now, for the moment you've been waiting for, the most valuable 1968 Washington quarter ever sold. A single, extraordinary specimen, due to its impeccable condition and rare characteristics, stunned the numismatic world when it achieved a record-breaking auction price of $635,700. That's right, over $500,000 for a single quarter. So, before you spend your next 1968 D Washington quarter, take a closer look. You might just be holding a fortune in your hands. Top 7. The story of the 1995 D Washington quarter is one of history, design, and hidden treasures that collectors seek with passion. It's easy to overlook a simple quarter in your pocket, but what if one of those could be worth a fortune? This particular coin, struck at the Denver Mint in 1995, is a part of a long legacy that dates back to the introduction of the Washington quarter in 1932, a coin initially issued to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the years, the quarter has seen several design changes, but the 1995 D issue carries a special allure due to its unique features, rarity, and a surprising value that only a few know about. Minted during an era of modernization at the U.S. Mint, the 1995 D Washington quarter carries the distinct D Mint mark, signifying its production at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint, established in 1906, has been responsible for striking billions of coins, but not all coins are created equal. While millions of Washington quarters were struck in 1995, some exhibit extraordinary characteristics that make them highly desirable among collectors. The blend of copper and nickel gives the coin a familiar silver-like appearance, but it is the specific errors, varieties, and conditions that turn an ordinary quarter into a valuable asset. The obverse of the coin, designed by John Flanagan, features the enduring profile of George Washington, a design that has remained largely unchanged for decades. Washington's resolute gaze, the fine details in his hair, and the clean inscription of Liberty above his head all contribute to the classical aesthetic of this coin. Below Washington's chin, the motto, "In God We Trust," is inscribed, a constant reminder of the nation's values. The date, 1995, is prominently placed at the bottom, marking its year of minting. A small but crucial detail is the D Mint mark, found just behind Washington's hair, signifying that this particular coin was minted in Denver. Turning to the reverse, we see another classic design, the majestic American eagle with its wings spread wide, clutching arrows in its talons while an olive branch rests below. This imagery represents the nation's commitment to both strength and peace, a theme deeply embedded in the fabric of American history. The words, "United States of America," curve along the top, while "E pluribus unum" is placed just above the eagle's head, reinforcing the nation's unity. At the bottom, the denomination, quarter dollar, is clearly inscribed, reminding us of its face value, though, as you'll soon discover, its actual value today is far from just 25 cents. What makes the 1995 D Washington quarter so special? It's not just about being an older coin, it's about the errors and conditions that set certain examples apart from the rest. Mint errors, such as off-center strikes, double dies, and misaligned dies, can significantly enhance a coin's rarity and desirability. In some cases, a double die obverse variety can cause slight distortions in the inscriptions, making letters appear thicker or slightly duplicated. These varieties, though subtle, make a world of difference in the eyes of numismatists. Another major factor in this quarter's value is its condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless coin. A 1995 D Washington quarter that has been well circulated will carry typical signs of wear, loss of detail in Washington's hair, faded lettering, and slight surface scratches. However, uncirculated or mint state, MS, examples with sharp details, strong luster, and no signs of wear are the ones that command the highest premiums. The closer a coin is to perfection, the more valuable it becomes. Beyond condition and errors, the demand for specific years and mint marks plays a crucial role in determining a coin's market price. While billions of Washington quarters exist, collectors constantly search for those rare variations that set them apart. A combination of low mintage numbers, unique die characteristics, and historical appeal all contribute to driving up the value of this particular coin. Auction records have shown that certain high-grade 1995 D Washington quarters have sold for staggering amounts, leaving collectors in awe of their true worth. The most desirable specimens, often in near-perfect condition with rare attributes, have fetched prices far beyond their face value. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, The astonishing value of one extraordinary 1995 D Washington quarter has reached an incredible $535,700. Top 8. The story of the 1982 D Washington quarter is a tale of history, craftsmanship, and unexpected fortune. Imagine holding a small yet powerful piece of American heritage in your hands, a coin that millions passed through daily transactions, yet only a few recognized its true worth. This quarter, minted in Denver in 1982, carries not just the image of the nation's first president, but a legacy that stretches back to the very foundations of the United States. From its creation to the rare specimens that have surfaced in recent years, this coin has captivated collectors and enthusiasts alike, with one particular piece fetching an astonishing price of $515,700. But before we reveal how this happened, let's dive into the fascinating journey of the Washington quarter, and what makes this specific 1982 D variant so special. The Washington Quarter series began in 1932, honoring George Washington on the 200th anniversary of his birth. Designed by John Flanagan, the coin replaced the standing Liberty quarter and soon became a staple of American currency. With its clean yet bold design, it was an instant classic. The obverse features a striking left-facing portrait of Washington, his gaze steady and his presence dignified. The word Liberty arches above his head, while the national motto, "In God We Trust," sits to his left. Below his profile, the year of mintage is inscribed, ensuring each coin's place in history. The reverse, a symbol of American strength, showcases a majestic bald eagle with outstretched wings clutching arrows and an olive branch, representing both military readiness and the nation's desire for peace. United States of America and E Pluribus Unum proudly frame the image, while the denomination, quarter dollar, anchors it below. For decades, the Washington quarter was struck in 90% silver, but by 1965, rising silver prices forced a change to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This transformation allowed the coin to remain in circulation without the economic burden of rising metal costs. By 1982, however, another change took place that would make this particular year's quarters unique. Due to a recession and budget constraints, the U.S. Mint decided to halt the production of uncirculated mint sets, which meant that collectors who typically acquired pristine examples directly from the mint had no choice but to find them in everyday circulation. This decision had a significant impact on the quality and availability of well-preserved 1982 quarters, making high-grade specimens incredibly difficult to find today. The Denver Mint, which struck the 1982 D Washington quarter, played a crucial role in producing coins for the western United States. Identified by the small D mint mark on the obverse, these coins were released into general circulation and used in everyday commerce. Since most people were unaware of their future collectability, few were saved in pristine condition. Over time, the vast majority of these quarters suffered the usual wear and tear of circulation, scratches, dings, and fading details that reduced their numismatic value. However, for those lucky enough to find a well-preserved example, the rewards have proven to be extraordinary. What sets the 1982 D Washington quarter apart is the difficulty in locating one in high-grade condition. While millions were minted, finding one with a sharp strike, original luster, and minimal marks is a rare challenge. The absence of mint sets that year meant collectors didn't have a ready supply of uncirculated coins, so the few that survived in exceptional shape became highly sought after. Those fortunate enough to have kept a pristine 1982 D quarter unknowingly held on to a hidden treasure. Fast forward to today, and the numismatic world continues to be fascinated by this coin. Collectors and investors alike hunt for high-quality specimens, knowing that their scarcity makes them highly valuable. The Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, and the Numismatic Guarantee Company, NGC, have graded thousands of these quarters, but only a handful have achieved the top-tier grades required to command significant premiums. Among them, one particular 1982 D Washington quarter stood out above the rest, shocking the coin-collecting community when it went to auction. And now, the moment you've been waiting for: just how much can a rare 1982 D Washington quarter be worth? In a record-breaking auction, one extraordinary specimen, graded in nearly perfect condition, sold for an unbelievable $515,700. Yes, a simple quarter, once worth just 25 cents, skyrocketed in value due to its rarity, pristine preservation, and collector demand. This incredible sale proves that treasures still exist in everyday change, waiting to be discovered by those who take the time to look. So, before you spend that next quarter, take a closer look. You might just be holding a fortune in your hands. Top 9. The year was 1987, a time when pocket change was just that, change. But little did anyone know, among the everyday coins exchanging hands at gas stations, grocery stores, and vending machines, a hidden gem was quietly making its way through circulation. The American piece Washington quarter dollar, specifically the 1987 D mint mark, might seem like an ordinary coin to most, but to collectors and numismatists, it holds an extraordinary story. This coin, struck in the Denver Mint, carries with it not just the legacy of the Washington Quarter series but also a secret that makes it one of the most valuable and sought-after coins ever discovered. To truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we must first journey back in time to understand the origins of the Washington Quarter. Introduced in 1932 to commemorate the bicentennial of George Washington's birth, the Washington Quarter quickly became a staple of American currency. The design, originally created by John Flanagan, features a striking profile of the first U.S. president, his gaze steady and strong, embodying the leadership and vision that defined the nation's early years. The reverse, with its proud eagle clutching a bundle of arrows and an olive branch, symbolizes both strength and peace, a fitting tribute to the man who led the country through its revolutionary birth. Fast forward to 1987, and the quarter had already seen several modifications, but its core design remained unchanged. This year, like many others, saw millions of Washington quarters minted across various U.S. mint facilities. However, the Denver Mint produced a particular batch that would go down in history. These 1987 D Washington quarters were struck under normal conditions, but something unusual happened, something that would make one of these coins stand out among the rest. For years, collectors overlooked this coin, assuming it to be just another quarter. After all, millions were minted, and most circulated without a second thought. But then, as keen-eyed numismatists began scrutinizing certain specimens, they noticed peculiarities, subtle, yet undeniable differences that separated one coin from the millions of others. Some quarters bore minting errors, while others had unique die varieties, but among them, one specific 1987 D Washington quarter emerged as a true masterpiece, commanding an astonishing price in the collector's market. Errors and varieties have always fascinated coin collectors. They represent the unexpected, the anomalies in a process that is supposed to be uniform and precise. The U.S. Mint, despite its rigorous quality control, occasionally allows coins with striking mistakes to slip through the cracks. Some errors are minor, double dies, off-center strikes, or weakly struck details, while others are so rare that they become legendary in the world of numismatics. The 1987 D Washington quarter in question falls into the latter category. One of the reasons why this particular coin is so valuable lies in its unique characteristics. Experts believe it may have been struck on a planchet that was never meant for a quarter, giving it a distinct weight and composition. Others speculate that an experimental die was used, resulting in a slight variation in Washington's profile, the details of his hair, or the placement of the mint mark. Under magnification, specialists have identified microscopic differences that set this coin apart, details so minute that only the most experienced collectors could recognize their significance. Over the years, the hunt for rare quarters has intensified. Coin roll hunters, metal detector enthusiasts, and seasoned collectors alike have scoured their collections, hoping to stumble upon this legendary piece. Some have found valuable quarters, coins worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but the true prize remained elusive. Then, one day, an unsuspecting individual came across what would later be confirmed as the rarest known 1987 D Washington quarter. Imagine this: a collector, casually sorting through a stack of quarters, suddenly notices something different about one of them. The luster seems off, the details sharper, the weight slightly unusual. Curious, they take the coin to an expert for evaluation. What follows is a rigorous authentication process, grading, comparisons, and historical research. The coin is examined under high-powered microscopes, tested for composition, and matched against known varieties. After weeks of analysis, the verdict is in: this is no ordinary quarter. This is the one. News of the discovery spreads rapidly, setting the numismatic world ablaze. Auction houses eagerly compete to list the coin, knowing that its rarity and historical significance will drive bidding to unprecedented levels. Collectors from around the world, including seasoned investors and museum curators, prepare for the auction, each hoping to secure this once-in-a-lifetime treasure. When the bidding war finally concludes, The hammer falls at an astounding price, one that cements this coin's place in history. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. How much is this extraordinary 1987 D Washington quarter worth? Brace yourself, because this remarkable coin, against all odds, sold for an astonishing $735,700 at auction. That's right, what was once just pocket change became a fortune overnight. So, the next time you find yourself holding a Washington quarter, take a closer look. That small piece of metal in your hand might just be hiding a secret worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows? Maybe the next legendary coin will be waiting in your pocket change.